Good evening, all you fancy stackers out there. Did you miss me? I took a little hiatus. I got a little sick, and just didn't have the energy and the passion to go live and talk. But I have absolutely, like all of you, I'm sure, been watching what's been going on in the markets and watching things go up and down and left and right and up and down like crazy. And this is what happens. This is what happens when markets go parabolic like this. So what can we expect? But yeah, how's everybody doing? Good evening. El Manuel coming in first with some downward looking charts there. Appreciate you. Action breeds success says silver not different this time. No, absolutely, actually not different at all. And that's kind of what I want to talk about tonight. Really, is just dig into what were the similarities that we've seen from this crash that we've seen in all the other crashes. And it's the same story again and again and again, right? It's that fool me once, shame on me, fool me twice, shame on you, fool me to 3 times. I don't know. I guess I'm an idiot, right? But we all wanted to believe. I think everybody wanted to believe that it was different this time, that it was all organically driven demand and industrial demand and global central bank reserve demand and retail demand, and we wanted to believe all these things, but at the end of the day, it's the same old song and dance. Big huge institutional funds and central banks buy it up and they sell it down, and they buy it up and they sell it down, and us peasants, we are hanging on for dear life for the ride, just hoping that it doesn't go to zero and wipe us all out. So here we are. Now, obviously, I'm not trying to be that dramatic. We're still up. Like, everybody's still up. I think most people that I've talked to, most people got in at the latest in like the 50s or 60s. And even then, let's just be honest with ourselves. Even if you got in at 50 and it's currently whatever, 65 or 69, a $15 increase, which is roughly 30% if you got in at 50, is still a solid year for any asset class. So you can't really be upset. I remember around like 70, I sold some silver, I got like 100 ounces and converted it to gold, and then I also sold some and converted it to cash. And I wanted to deploy the cash at some point, and I just never did. I don't know why. Maybe God was keeping me from being a fool, but I just kind of like held on to it, and I kept looking at the price going up, and my mentality was, and I was along for this ride just like everybody else. I didn't know anybody else. I just we all have our different experiences, but when it broke through 100 the way it broke through, I was kind of like, well, we're just gonna see where it goes at this point, right? And I've been still buying. There's never been, I don't even know. There's never been a month where I didn't have at least 4 purchases of silver and gold for the last, I don't know, 2 years. So I'm always buying. It doesn't really matter, but it is definitely shocking. It's not even like that we didn't expect the drop, right? We all expected a pullback. We all did. Like, nobody watches a chart go up that fast and doesn't expect a pullback. And we're going to show some charts in a second, a little bit. But, hey, what's going on, Dennis? The Gabagoo, Farm Boy, Silver Servants, thanks, guys. I'm just kind of going through my little monologue as we all get comfortable. We sit back in our nice recliners. We grab our scotch, we smoke our cigars, whatever we're doing tonight. And we just enjoy a little discussion, a little community discussion on why it wasn't different this time, and also what key takeaways can we get from this, so that if we live long enough to see this happen again in, say, the next 10 to 20 years, maybe next time we just do things a little different and we don't even try to convince ourselves that it's different anymore. And we just say, you know what? We accept that powers much more influential and wealthy than us are going to manipulate the markets that we're involved in, and we just need to be able to trade in and out of it appropriately and not have any emotional attachment to it, and just get in, get out, get in, get out when the time is right for us. What's going on, Dragoon? What's going on, sir? Good to see you. It's been a while, Brilliance. Yeah, I got pretty sick, and when it was really a lot of work, a lot of chaos at work, and I got really sick, and I just didn't have if I don't have the passion to go on there and give a good show, sport, like, then I don't feel like it's worth going live if I can't be entertaining and have something to talk about and well thought out. So I just opt for no video is better than a crap video. You know what I mean? So here we go. Did you get your name from Legend of Dragoon or Chrono Cross? Kind of, John Davidson, in a way. Like, I'm a big fantasy fan. I'm a big RPG fan and stuff like that. So the original naming of this is from the Dragoon from Final Fantasy. His name was Kane. That was the original, but I did play Legend of Dragoon, and also Dragoons were a part of history, believe it or not. They were like mounted military men who would like charge in bravely to combat with both musket and like saber, and they would basically charge in, blasting away, and jump off and just hack away. So they're pretty badass guys. So it's kind of a combination of everything. But yeah, howdy TFT, thanks for being here. So yeah, there's a lot of things I think we can take away, and I haven't looked at the poll results, but I'm sure it's funny. Yeah, I mean, you know how it goes, guys, right? You know how it goes. Basically, when I buy, it drops, right? That's just the way it goes. Anytime I buy, it drops. It doesn't matter if it's a stock, if it's a crypto, if it's precious metals, if it's a house. When I buy, it plummets, right? It's just the rule of life. But yeah, here we are. It's not different this time, guys. It's absolutely, we can keep trying to convince ourselves that it is. It's not different this time. It's not. And unfortunately, let's just take JP Morgan Chase's word for it. When we were at about 119 or 118, they said that they felt that it was going to fall 50%, which puts us down to around $59 an ounce. So let's just live with it. That's where they're predicting it's probably going to fall to. I would say let's just go ahead and accept that and say that it's probably going to fall into the low 60s or mid 50s before it finally stabilizes. However, I'm going to argue that that's what we've needed for all along. In fact, I wish it had done that when it got to 80, that it had come back down to 50 and stabilized. All this is going to do, I mean, there's going to be some people that, here, I got to do this real quick since I'm going to talk about some stuff. We got to do that. Yeah, awesome. I can manage 55 to 60. Yes, it is a gut punch. Like, let's not, look, we can all try to act with big bravado, and we can act like, hey, we're long-term stackers and this and that. And I am in precious metals for the long haul. And I positioned myself in a way where I wouldn't need to liquidate any precious metals to afford my lifestyle, to pay for emergencies, to pay for doctor bills, to pay for car repairs, to pay for even buying a property, which I'm looking to buy next year. That's just me, right? Hey, Crawl Daddy, I saw, just FYI, little aside. Crawl Daddy, thank you so much. I saw my P.O. box said that a package had arrived from you, and I will be going to pick that up this weekend, sir. Thank you very much. And I will return the favor with some stickers and some poker chips right back at you, sir. Appreciate you. So personally, I'm as positioned as well as I can to eat the down market for as long as it goes, and to start to reaccumulate in the precious metals even more than I was at 100. Right? I was buying at 80, 90, 100. I bought this Mark McGuire commemorative coin. I bought this commemorative coin when silver was $115 an ounce. All right? For a stupid silver challenge. Literally, I called it literally the stupid silver challenge, where you basically buy the dumbest pieces of silver that you can find for under $120. And that's what I bought right at the edge there. So trust me, I'm buying, but even being as positioned as I could have been to make sure that I can ride this wave up and down, it's a gut punch, man. It's a kick in the gonads. It's the kick in the jewels to just see something go up that strongly and then to get absolutely beat down that much. And I think that, again, as firm and as strong as our financial positions may be, and I'm sure everybody out there is wealthier than I am, it's still a kick in the gonads to see your asset values drop like this, even if you weren't going to sell them anytime soon. I don't know. Maybe I'm just, reflecting my own opinions on y'all that's invalid. I don't know, but that's the way I see it. And it's just part of it. We all do there's scales in life for a reason, right? The reason why these markets trade, guess what? Believe it or not, silver was trading at around $115 an ounce not that long ago. You could go to a place and get around $110 to $105 for that ounce of silver. And today, you walk into that same store, they're not going to give you $110 worth of value for it. They're going to give you probably $65 or $60 of value for it. Right? That's a kick in the face. I don't know. Maybe how do y'all feel about it? Are you guys doing good? It's just, again, I'm not trying to say it's doom and gloom, it's over. No. If we zoom out, ladies and gentlemen, right? You can see the chart, as small as it is, but just trust me, there's numbers there. This is $36 an ounce, guys. All the way up to, let's just go here. September 19th, 2025. $40 an ounce. And today, we're at $69 an ounce. That's $29. That is well over a 50% growth just since September of 2025. That is a strong asset class growth in any asset class that you were to pick. Any of them. Even Bitcoin growing 50% a year is a good thing. So there we go. Yeah, the home run. Let me get caught up on there. SE Stacking, thanks for being here. Meister Bojangles, welcome back. Silver Stacker 56. It is disappointing, but I'm not shaken because the fundamentals have not changed. If anything, Silver Stacker, haven't the fundamentals actually kind of gotten stronger? We are just at the whim, though, of the ridiculous funds. And obviously, I didn't even update my price scroller up there. It's kind of funny, but it's way off, but it's not too off. I felt a lot richer a week ago. My life has not changed, though. Exactly, Andrew T. That's, like you do count, right? You tally, you take inventory of your net worth, you check it. Anytime there's a big drop like that, it sucks, man. It sucks. I don't care who you are. I don't care who you are. What's going on? We got mustard and biscuits in here. We got a lot of good crowd. Good crowd. Appreciate you guys. Kevin Mendoza. Remember Mark McGuire versus Sammy Sosa? Yeah, I think that's kind of where this coin came from. I didn't really. Again, I just bought it because it looks like it's like gold plated. It's goofy looking, but whatever. It's cool. All right. Jason Byers official. This is exactly how I feel, Dragoon, and I only bought about 20 ounces at the high price. Most I got was $20 to $35. But even still, it's a huge letdown. It's a thing, right? I think, look, if anything you can get from this little live stream right here is like, we're gonna take a breath. We're gonna regroup. It's gonna be okay. Life's gonna be okay. And we talked about hedging on one of the last videos I did, where if you really want to play the game, if you want to play the banker's game, here's what I'm going to do. Again, not financial advice. You do you, friendos. The next day that silver bounces up 5 to 10%, I'm going to sell all the shares of SLV that I have, and I'm going to instantly put and buy 5 puts for SLV on the same day of that bounce up. And then you know what that's going to do? It's going to stop the pain. Because if it goes down to 40 or 30, I'm going to rake in paper gains, and then I'm going to sell it for profit, and then I'm going to take that cash profit, and I'm going to walk to the LCS, and I'm going to go turn it into physical metal at the low. And at the same time, if it goes up, guess what? It's okay, because all the ounces of silver that I own are going up in congruence with it. So yeah, I might take a little loss on the paper, but so what? I'm protecting myself there, and we're going to do it. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. So yeah, silver, here's where I'm at. Here's what I'm looking at, guys. And I don't know, you can join me with this. Okay. Here's a 1-year chart. And that's a bamboozling, man. This is engulfing, bear momentum, right? We've been bulls for so long. Right now, guys, we have to accept We have to accept the bearishness that we're in right now. But we're gonna figure out a way to capitalize on it. Now, I'm already buying. I'm already buying. I bought some yesterday at 75. I plan to buy some more at 65. And we will just keep buying on the way down. And then when I feel like it finally hits the bottom, which I'm going to predict my own bottom here. I'm going to predict the bottom. And that's when I'm going to go to the LCS and buy gold and silver. What the F is going on? Mikey Mara, what's going on? Appreciate you being here. We're just letting our emotions out, okay? We're weeping. We're weeping into our pillow for 5 seconds as grown-ass men. And then we're going to tighten the belt. We're going to put on the hat. And we're going to get our ass out there. And we're going to go back to work. That's what we're doing, okay? That's what we're doing right now, okay? It's okay. We will see triple-digit silver again this year. Ooh, that's bold, Farm Boy. This year, maybe. I'm not going to say no. I'm definitely not going to say no, because I was looking at the same things you guys were looking at. I'm sure we all saw the same stuff. I'm seeing Australia, India, China. What was it? Is it Thailand? I think, where I'm seeing all these people, right, scrambling to get gold and silver. And what I'm hearing, just like you are hearing on all the same channels, is that this crap is sold out everywhere. As soon as it appears in the store, people are arriving to buy it. There's lines out the door of people waiting to buy gold and silver. If there were lines out the door at 100, I would have to imagine there's going to be lines out the door at 65 and 60. Now, I do feel for the LCSs. The LCSs must have gotten absolutely crushed. They must have gotten absolutely crushed. All that inventory they bought up there at $100 an ounce just got floored in the last week. Anything that they didn't sell up higher, I do. My condolences to any of these stores that are going to be under hard times for a while. I do hope that they can make enough margin and transactions to pass through it. We'll see what happens. This is what 6-7 means. I don't even know what 6-7 means. Batman can save us. He might be able to. We should call him in. Somebody signal that son bitch. Let's get some silver bat signals out in the air. We need it. At these prices, I need 27 grams, then wait to 40. So I call it 40 to 1. So I call it 36 to 1 and let the shop take 4 ounces of profit. Brandon, I don't know, like, are you talking about the GSR, or what are you talking about there? Because the GSR, I mean, I don't think the GSR is going to get back to 40 to 1. I think right now the GSR is what? Like, it's got to be close to 70, right? At these points. Hold on, let's look. The GSR is 67.33. It's kind of ironic because 65 was my low point that I was looking for the GSR, and we went crazy. The inverse over here. As gold is just the steady stallion, man. I'm sorry, but if you look at gold losing, 20%. It's just gold was that stable horse, and that was my strategy when silver is 120. We talked about this. All of us did. The GSR, when the GSR was below 60, I said clearly, for my strategy was to convert to buying gold, and I switched to buying primarily gold, probably 10 to 1 gold. And I would still pick up silver because I'm like, I have goals. I like silver. I love silver. But I was picking up primarily gold. And I was converting 90% junk silver at like crazy face values. I was selling that on peer-to-peer networks and then buying gold with the profits that I was selling that silver from. And that was my strategy. And the reason I did that was because I felt like gold would be a more stable asset when the crash came. I believe that those were my exact words, is that when the prices did fall, that I felt like gold would fall at a slower rate than silver, which would give me more time to react to the situation. And I'm comfortable with gold where it's at. Gold just hasn't had as much of a parabola as silver has over the last year. So, but anyway, let's go into this. This is what I'm thinking. Let me get caught up and then remind me if I drift off. These are my kind of predictions of where I think we're going to be based on the trend lines and the support levels that we're breaking through. All right, paid not played. What's going on? There was no gold to hold on. There is 20 years of supply. This is not going to 90 for 2 years. Okay, so paid not played. You're basically saying the market is kind of like rebalancing to its true valuation, that it was overhyped, overpumped. and you think that like we're gonna go back onto a very long slow trickle up to get back to 90. All right, it's fair. I bought 4 different times today on the way down. Yeah, I could see, Zach. I could definitely understand that. You know, we're seeing prices that some people in the stacking community actually have never seen. It's funny enough. Some people got in, you know, this year. Some people got in December, and these prices were just like, they were like October, November-ish. So here we are. Matt Wingy, what's going on? Thanks for being here, Matt. All right, I'm 36. I have time to wait. Exactly, Brandon. And Brandon Walls, you're probably going to go through this again, which is, I think, why this conversation today is going to be important. Because the reality is that most of us will be alive long enough to see this play out again. And I want to make sure that this time we don't tell ourselves that it's different. That we look for the signals of the institutions going to crush the price, and we react accordingly, whether that's convert to a different asset class, or whether that's to sell physical at the top and convert to cash and then buy it back after it drops 20-30%. Next time, I don't want anybody to be caught off guard. We're not gonna, you know, convince ourselves that this time is different. That's my strategy, right? All right. Let me switch back to this screen here. Boop. Don't buy over 50. If you're trading, always go to all gold in the crash. Worst case, the gold silver ratio shoots up and you gain a load of silver ounces. Yeah. Kick publishing. I agree with that. Like, you know, if you're worried about your silver position, converting it to gold, you know, they might both go down, but it seems like gold just doesn't move at the same rate. And then you can capture that 10-20%. Now, obviously, with the spreads and the margins on the, you know, under spot that you're going to get for things, you have to have a pretty significant change in prices for that trade to even make a difference. But hey, we've seen, you know, a 20%, 30% trading in one day is a pretty significant opportunity. You know what I mean? There was too much hype. I should have acted sooner for sure. Yeah, Brandon Wallace. Like, again, hindsight is a beautiful educator. Pain is a beautiful educator, right? Consequence is a great learning opportunity as well. So that's what we're going to do. So let's think about this. And I kind of put it in the poll. I kind of alluded to some of this, right? Let's think about, you guys remember a couple things happened back around what, December? Number one thing, and I think was the number one indicator, was obviously the dramatic rise where the daily percentage gains were higher than previous months gains. That is a very clear red flag. Now, it doesn't mean it's a top. I'm just saying that feels like to me a very clear red flag. When your daily volume changes, right? Like when you're seeing a 5% daily change up or down, but normally a month's change is like 5 to 10%. That's a very big initial red flag that something parabolic, right, is about to start happening. All right, so that's a small one, I think, but that one still is an indicator that we are going to be headed towards a top at some point here, right? Now, the next thing, and I think this is probably the most clear indicator what the COMEX did. Does anybody remember? Does anybody remember what the COMEX did when silver and gold started going up at a pretty fast pace? Half my holdings were purchased 20 years ago. Junk Silver Junkie. Dude, I love Junk Silver too, bud.
Stay a while and listen.
I've been buying for the past 2 months. When I find good deals, stay strong, everybody. I do agree. Again, we're going to absorb the frustration, the embarrassment. We're going to absorb the emotion today, and then we're going to tighten the belt. We're going to strap on, and we're going to get to work. That's it. We're going to learn from it, and we're going to move forward. Now, at the end of the day, we've talked about it now a lot. I know a lot of people come and go throughout the stream. Look, guys, it wasn't even 6 months ago. It wasn't even 6 months ago we were at $40 an ounce, okay? And it's okay. It's okay if you were buying at $40 an ounce. You don't have to be the guy that bought at $7 an ounce to still feel good. At $40 an ounce, you're still up like 60%. At $40 an ounce from 6 months ago. 60%. Every single asset that you could buy in your life, if you could go up 60% a year or 60% in 6 months, you would take that all day, every day for everything you bought. Okay. That's the thing. So don't be discouraged, even if you go back to even. Still fine. Still fine. All right. They never have heal. Oh, so here we go. So we're saying it shut down. Okay, so we did. The first thing that happened, the first thing that happened on November around Thanksgiving was the COMEX miraculously shut down. And what happened? It seems, rumor is that certain entities like JP Morgan magically got out of their short positions and were able to reverse their positions to capture the gains. That's interesting, right? So that was our first thing. Then the second thing was there were margin changes, right? There was like an increase in the dollar amount of margin you needed for contracts of silver. So those two kind of were red glaring indicators. Now, and I believe that every single time in history from the 1980 and the 2011 rounding tops, every single one of these, both of these times, let's say not every single one, like there's a million of them. The two other times, we saw the exact same things. The COMEX tried to use margin changes to squeeze out speculators, and it happened. They did it multiple times in like a week. The exact same thing happened in 2026 or 2025 through 2026. It was the same thing that happened in 2011, the same thing that happened in 1980. That is a very, very clear to me indicator that we are approaching a top. Again, it's not going to call the top, but I think that obviously, hindsight's perfect. But when they started changing those COMEX rules, it was in December, I think. We were at 70 to 80. Now, there was still plenty of room to run. You still made 50% before the top. But what would you rather do? Like, let's say you had, 1,000 ounces of silver and you were willing to, you're somebody who's not like diamond fisting it. I get it. Some people just want to hold forever and accumulate, but some people also want to trade. So we're kind of like covering both bases here. But it would have been, I think, okay if you were to drop 10% at 80, and you were to drop 10% at 90, and you were to drop 10% at 100, and drop another 10% at 110, and then just kind of hold. You've got like 60, 50% of your stack left. You've taken profits off all the way up, and then you just hold. If it goes to 150, great. The rest of your stack has gone up. But if it does plummet, and again, now I don't think you will ever hear me say it's different this time ever again. Because it's always the same in every single market. It doesn't matter if it's precious metals or crypto or stocks or whatever. It's the same institutions doing the same tricks every single time. So we can either get angry about it and fight it and try to be contrarian to it, or we can just accept that this is the market that we live in. This is our government doesn't want to legislate it. The regulatory bodies that are responsible for monitoring these things and enforcing our laws are not going to do it to the big boys. We just have to accept it and say, this is the world that we live in. But you know what we can do? We can buy it. We can sell it just like they can. Maybe not the same volume, but there's no reason why you couldn't have bought 100 shares of SLV if you wanted to trade it, let it run up, dilute them the same way. And when it gets to the top, you start seeing these pullbacks, short the hell out of it just like they do and make profit all the way down, and then convert that cash within 5 days into whatever the heck you want. Go buy a boat. Who knows? Go buy some more gold and silver. It doesn't matter. But play the game. Don't fight it. We don't have time to fight it anymore. We don't have the money. We don't have the energy. We don't have the time. Just play the game. I called an LCS today to check prices for American Silver Eagles. They said $90 each, but only 2 to 3. No large quantities and only paying $60 each. Junk Silver Junkie, yeah, that makes sense. It makes sense because I do like that the LCS is limiting it so that they can have some supply for other customers and everybody to kind of get something. I think that's a very fair way to handle it. So also, if you are here for the first time, make sure you click the like button, subscribe, come back and join us sometime. Ran Reed subscribed. Thank you so much for that. I'm gonna take a little sip of coffee real quick. All right. So if I'm looking at this chart, here's what I'm seeing. We have the MACD cross down here. I'm down here at the bottom, guys, looking at the MACD. And we have a crossover here where it drops, obviously. But what this is signaling to me is that we are not really bottomed out yet. Also, if I look at the volume, we have a lot of very strong negative volume. In fact, if I'm looking here, we could probably see it correlated. Yeah. What's the 1 day doing? Yeah. Feels weird having to go down to the 60s to see it. We had a little bit of a bounce there, but from what, 60? Wow, 64. We had a nice bounce from 64. That's good. The RSI is now starting to get into that oversold territory below 40. But I would imagine it's going to probably break the 30 trend line at some point here, and that's going to be where I'm really looking for it. We are this blue line right here going across the screen. That is our 200-day moving average. All right. This we broke the 70 trend line. 70 was that level where I was like, I really don't want to break 70. My goal or my hope would be that we do bounce off. It's okay if we break down like for a minute, right? We have a big candle wick down to 64. I would like us to stay above 70 and to establish 70 as a new floor. However, I fear's a strong word. I don't really care, but I feel like if we break 70, then somewhere in this range, 50 to 55, is going to be the next level that we do not want to break through. So if we break through this is just my analysis. Could be completely dead ass wrong. Okay, do your own. But I feel like if we break below 70 and we start trading below 70 and we can't get back above it, that we will then be targeting 55 to 50 as our next settlement place. And I think, my opinion, is that 55 is the place to settle. If we came all the way down to the 200-day moving average, we'd be somewhere around $51 by the time we got there, because it's not like today, it'll be like in a couple of days. So we'd probably be around $51, $52, which means that we would, nothing's guaranteed. It's a high probability, though, that at the very least, we would bounce off the 200-day and go back up. That's the at least expectation. I don't think we'll get all the way down there. I think 55 would be our crash landing point. I'm going to get caught up with what you guys are saying. Dropping zombies. I think I'm going to just sell what I have as I'm in profit. I don't see this rigged market on metals ever being fixed. Well, I'm not saying it's going to zero. I'm not saying it's going to like last for 5 years down like below 30 if you're trying to listen to me and what I'm saying. And again, you do whatever you want to do, man. If you want to take profits, take profits. I'll never tell anybody to not take profits, right? Just do what's best for you. I think, though, we're just having the correction that we needed. We really did need it. And we needed this correction before we got to $120. Come on, guys. What's up, Pajama Stacking? How you doing? We'll appreciate any advice. And if I'm wrong about anything, please make sure you guys correct me. Crazy to say, but the Asian guy in Bitcoin falling below 74K, it would bleed into everything. I don't really listen to the Asian guy channels. I'm not a big fan of AI channels. Nothing against them, but they just, honestly, they bore me because they regurgitate the same thing like too many times. So I get over it. But yeah, Bitcoin. I mean, Bitcoin's gonna fall to 50K. I mean, right? Like, or we're not. Bitcoin broke a disgusting head and shoulders, guys. Like that junk's on a free fall right now. If you are a Bitcoin buyer, you're probably going to have a good opportunity to buy in the next month or so. Keep your eye on it. But to be frank, so did silver. In fact, one of my messages to my Discord right here, again, this is an ugly head and shoulders, but we called it. And we sadly called it really well. Again, ugly head and shoulders, but it was basically, can I not get my pencil? Can I get my pencil, please? there. Head, right shoulder is from a GIMP. But the problem is we broke, right? We broke the neckline of the head and shoulder. So we are, that's what shifted me from bull to bear, is the fact that we made the right shoulder that dramatically and we broke the neckline. And that's why I think my next price target is $55. I'm going to buy at 65. Don't get me wrong. I will be buying the next time it touches 65. Right now, I'm primarily dealing with the SLV. I'm just going to go ahead and play the paper market for a little bit, make some money off of it to try to make up what I lost in a little bit of these. I didn't lose, but you get my point. The negative, unrealized gains that I lost from here. And I'm going to try to make it up at 55. And what I'm going to do is the next time this bounces, when it bounces 5 to 10%, I'm going to sell all my shares of SLV. I'm going to instantly flip that position into put options. And I will ride it down to the depths of Hades if I have to. And then I will take all the profit from that and I will roll that into most likely gold, which is on the screen. Nobody's even close to being worried. I say drop $50 and we'll be stacking hundreds more. Yeah, Sandwich Man, I agree. I do agree. And again, like most people know by now is, a lot of people join these calls in the middle of them and they don't catch all the context. So I understand if you guys want to, if you guys want to argue your point and stuff like that, it's perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. All right, so go back to the 1 year chart. This is what we're really looking at. Oh, I'm still in the drawing tools. Come on, man. Let's go back into just moving the chart, please. Thank you. All right, so I do think that we're going to come down to that 200-day moving average, which is where we should be. It's where we should be. And then that's going to be, man, isn't it going to be nice, guys? Isn't it going to be nice when we can go back and we can buy 2 ounces of silver for $100? It's so funny, too. Yeah, again, dropping zombies. Why can't you do both, buddy? Why can't you do both? Why can't you trade the paper and own the physical? And then you can also trade the paper to hedge your physical losses. So, for instance, when silver's 120, if you took out the equivalent amount of short positions as your ounces of silver and it fell, well, you made a lot of money and you still kept your physical. So that's why I don't disparage anybody for doing anything. Like, that's it. But can y'all imagine when we go back to the store, we go back online to our favorite dealer, and I don't have to buy stupid Queen's Beasts for $225 a piece? I can't wait, man. I'm gonna build so many collections at $50. Remember, I was making that t-shirt. I was actually making a t-shirt that was, maybe this was prophetic, my t-shirt was gonna say, I miss $50 silver dash 2025.
Stay a while
and it turns out that I guess I won't have to miss it for very long, right? But yeah, I'm excited for cheaper silver too. I'm excited to stack. I'm also excited to not break my budget every single time I wanted to go buy something. Thomas Zeigler, thank you very much for your subscription as well as Peaceful Patriot. Thanks guys for being here. Appreciate you guys very much. I hope it hits 50 for a while. Yes, I do think so too. And this pullback is what we've needed so long, man. We really have needed this pullback. Okay, we were supposed to wait. I got off topic. I got off topic. Yeah, I do miss $2,000 gold too. Oof, I'm with you, dropping zombies. If it goes back down to $2,000, I'm gonna be picking up a few ounces. I'll just tell you that right up. Let's go back to a real trend line. Let's go back to a trend line that wasn't too corruptible. That's normal. You know what I mean? Oh, come on. We can stomach that kind of a trend line, can't we? Can you stomach that kind of a trend line? Just creeping on up. Pretty solid, a year, gaining 60% a year. That's still, again, very, very good. Long term, we're adding ounces. Exactly, PJs. We stack the frack. I've been buying a bunch of half-ounce silver. I guess I don't need to be doing that anymore. I can go back to the full ounces. But I just felt like if it's going to keep going up, I want to be positioned for it. So anyway, we've got this trend line, right? That's a very healthy 50% growth. But if we come back down to it, let's say we actually touch it, which is kind of where we're trending, right? that's nice, man. And I hope that we genuinely come back down here to a reasonable level. I think it's going to be closer to here, but we'll come back to a closer level, and then maybe we'll see some of this jazz. You know, we'll see some of these like, oh, there's a down candle like that. Oh, okay. Maybe we tip our toe below it, but then we have a day where we come back up, and a couple days where we come back up, and then maybe not that much. That's a little too much. Let's keep it down, Dragoon. Keep it in your pants, Dragoon. Right? I think we're gonna see something like that. This is probably the worst color to draw on a live stream with that nobody can see. Right? Sorry. I just realized like I'm having a hard time seeing it. There's no chance you guys can see it, but you get my point. I would love to do a little dance like this over the next 2 years. You know, like let's just ride the gentle wave of inflation, and let's go up like 5 or 6% a year, 10% a year. Let's not go insane with this, 80 to 120% in 1 year. I don't need that. What if it drops to $25 an ounce? It doesn't really change anything dropping zombies, I don't think. I mean, it would it would make all the people who hate silver and hate precious metals come out to the YouTube channels and say how right they were and how wrong everybody else was. I guess that would change. I don't know. I mean, what does it matter? Like, I don't think it matters, right? Because I'm kind of like these guys, man. If I can go back to getting 10-ounce bars for $250, I'm gonna be excited about that. I haven't bought a 10-ounce bar in what feels like forever. It hasn't been forever, but man, it feels like forever because I just don't want to pay $1,000 for a 10-ounce bar. I don't know what it is. It's like subconsciously I'm against it. It's weird. Kilo, man, it's been like a year and a half since I bought a kilo. It just feels weird, right? And I don't have an unlimited budget. I don't know about you guys, but if it got down to $25 an ounce, I'd kind of like be like, all right, well, we basically erased. Come on, I'll say we basically erased, a year and a half of progress in terms of the price. Where is 25? I don't even know. Where are we at 25? How far back do we have to go? 2024? Yeah, I mean, we'd be erasing basically 2 years, a year and a half of progress. That would suck. I mean, I've already said that this feels like a gut punch too. That would definitely feel like a gut punch, but like I'm not gonna cry in my Cheerios, right? There's no crying in baseball. There's no crying in stacking. We would just reposition, and I would imagine at that point, platinum will be more affordable, gold will be more affordable. And I would be positioning myself in those metals as well. Again, the same thing I'm doing today. I would be taking a portion of my wealth, and I invest in everything. I've talked to you guys about this, and I know we have a lot of new viewers, but I invest in crypto. I invest in real estate. I invest in the stock market. I invest in collectibles, and I invest in precious metals. I have no problem, right? No problem adjusting those proportions to fit my needs. And to be quite honest, I've felt like silver and gold were overpriced for a while, just like all of you have. Everybody has felt hesitation going to the store. You just don't lie. Ever since this area, right? We've all had hesitation. Do I sell a little bit? Do I trade to gold or platinum or palladium or whatever? Like, do I just hold steady and maybe slow down my buying? I don't think anybody jumped in here at 100 plus and said, hell yeah, boys, backing up the truck, right? So we've all had that natural hesitancy. Things didn't feel natural, right? Things didn't feel comfortable. That's all. So, oh, shoot. Hold on. Can I control Z this? I didn't mean to remove my indicators. Yeah, okay, we're good. I meant to remove these drawings. That was these really nice drawings. Which investment is making money for you? I mean, honestly, the last 5 years have been absolutely absurd, Sandwich Man. Everything's making money for me. That's why I don't trust it, to be quite frank. I bought gold and silver. If you guys want my backstory, since anybody's new here, I actually didn't get into gold and silver really until about 3 years ago. And the whole reason I got into gold and silver is because I was looking at all these different asset classes, trying to figure out where I wanted to put cash into, because I got tired of having excess cash in my account. And I was like, I've got to invest it in something. Boo-hoo, woe is me, first world problems. I was, at the time, real estate was pumped up tremendously from the COVID market boom and all that. the stock market I know went up more, but I didn't liquidate my stocks. Like stock market's doing tremendous for me, right? Stocks were really, really high. Like the whole market was really, really high. So I was like, okay, that's fine. Crypto was pretty high. It obviously went up a little higher, but crypto was pretty pumped and really high. So I was like, well, crap, where do I put my money? So I started looking into sports cards, trading card games like Magic the Gathering, and some new up and coming trading card games that were coming out that nobody really knows, but I got into those. And then I legitimately, no BS here, 100% authentic. I looked at gold and silver and I thought to myself, wow, that's weird. When I look at those charts, this was 3 years ago, I was like, when I look at these charts, these assets have been the same price for years, it feels like. This isn't right. So I literally started putting money into silver and gold as a place to get out of fiat currency, to get out of digital currency. And I bought it strictly because I felt like it was underpriced and undervalued. So I'm happy with it. Like I'm not dissatisfied with what gold and silver are done. In fact, they've done way better than I ever thought that they would or should do. Did I get into MetaZoo? No, but I am familiar with MetaZoo. But no, I never got into it. When I don't willy-nilly just throw my money into any collectible. I buy collectibles that have a backing. Like they have good sales data, they have a legitimate game, they have like tournament scenes, etc. Nobody cares about that stuff. Why are we talking about this? Nobody cares. That's another discussion from my old channel before I got to the precious metals. Anyway. No, I didn't. The game was, if you really care, it was Flesh and Blood was the primary game that I got into. It was called Flesh and Blood TCG, but no, not MetaZoo. Right now I do trade in One Piece as well with sealed product, and I still have Magic the Gathering and Flesh and Blood cards to sell. I have some sports cards, but I kind of got out of the graded sports card scene just because it's just too much to deal with. Collectibles make most money with most ROI. Yeah, if you know what you're doing, you can do fine. Dirt cheap at garage. So yeah, I mean, if you know what you're looking for, yeah, you can do well, for sure. All right. So again, back to here. I think we're gonna get to about. I think we're gonna. Okay. If we stay below this 70 to 72 level, if we stay below that and we start trading below that. Hey, what's up, Tim? Barbarian. Yeah, I know. But, I mean, not everybody cares. You know what I mean? We got an audience of like 150 people here. I can't talk about a game that only like 3 people know about. We put everybody to sleep. We got to talk about what people are here for. That I think if we break that, if we break like the 72 level, that's where we're going to see, like if we hold here, or about like, if we hold below like that, let's call it that. Sorry, I've been sick for like a week. I'm losing my voice. I'm trying to like drink tea in between my conversation. That's why I keep pausing. So I apologize. I'm muting my mic and I'm coughing and drinking tea. All right. If we break below that, I think we're going to then trade in this range here. Right. Let's go right around the tipsy topsies of these. Wait, are we not drawing another one? We're not going to draw another one. No. Right around there. And I'll show you why. Right. Because this had proven to be a little bit of a resistance level that we had to break through at some point. So that's why I think that it could prove to be another support resistance level. Also, it pulls us down to the 200-day moving average with all that volume. So I do think we're going to be there. What are you guys talking about? Silver is so out of stock in the UK that 1 kilogram sells for 4,100. Wow. Maybe I should just turn on international selling and just sell on eBay for a minute. Jeez. I'm cheering for Pogs. Dude, Pogs were so fun back when you were a kid, you know, like just slamming them. Does anybody here remember that? Anybody? When the Beanie Baby market recovers, I will be richer than Elon Musk. I don't own any Beanie Babies either. But yeah, I mean, that's my story. That's the reason I started stacking, but then I fell in love with it. I'll be honest. I started really enjoying silver. I started really understanding what it was used for and the like properties of it. I started really getting into that real money ideology, gold and silver. And now my primary stack is actually 90% halves. So if you go back and watch some of my live streams where I'm filling out my Barber, my Walker, my Franklin albums and stuff. You can see that. I actually just bought 20 half-dollar Barbers for $700 just recently. So yeah, I'll be opening up that way overpriced roll of Barber halves on stream soon, and we're gonna try to see if we can find some lucky new, key dates or something to put into our album, or some better quality ones to put on our album. But yeah, so I'm big into the constitutional, buying the 90% and having fun with it while also stacking silver. I do think that, at 2, 3, 4 years down the road, at some point, all this will stabilize. And I think it's going to stabilize like you guys are all talking about. We're going to stabilize in this region here. And hopefully we stabilize in there for a year or so. And then and then after that, hopefully we can stabilize in a new region later on after we've kind of established that one. And let's just call this like 2026 or 2027. Sorry, 27, 28. Maybe we'll get into that region. And then, we'll look back, distant past and be like, oh yeah, you remember when we got to 100 in like 4 days? Wasn't that exciting? Like, let's do it the real way this time. That's what I would like to see. This is, what are y'all, we're still talking about Pogs. Moon Dust Pog. Man, I don't have the memory to memorize like the types of stuff. I just remember like the general theme Pogs, Our Silver Eagle won't be much more than a Pog or a Slammer at the rate we are going down. Calm down, Jason. Calm down, Jason. It's not that bad. This didn't happen right here. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay, buddy. It's not that bad. I don't have any Beanie Babies, but my twins got a crap ton of Build-A-Bears. Oh man, Build-A-Bears. The only problem with Build-A-Bears is they're custom, right? So unless they got some sort of like limited edition Build-A-Bear, right, where you can like I don't know, they only made like 10,000 of them and everybody wants one, like, and then they can go put their clothes on it. Dr. Deeb, what's going on? Luckily I managed to purchase from the Royal Mint with the dip. Nice. Cost roughly 70 pounds per ounce average. Oh yeah, you got the VAT. Having said that, it's the best price could get in the UK. Yeah. So that's I bought. I'm buying again. I'm gonna pull the trigger again at 65, guys. So I'm with you. I am definitely with you. I am buying these dips, but I've got to be like, I've got to in my mind think about where I expect things to go and why. And that's what I think. That's kind of the thesis for what I think. So let's do a recap real quick of the key indicators that we saw, right? So let's think about what we saw. We saw the COMEX shut down because of large volume, like large percentage gains, right? We had large percentage gains, and the COMEX shut down for a trading, like a halted trading. We saw the COMEX increase margin rates multiple times in the same couple of weeks or a month. That would be another indicator. So we saw massive run, like extraordinarily large gains. We saw the COMEX increasing margin rates. And then I would say a third indicator is maybe a little bit more. A third indicator would maybe be when the large institutions start just rapid firing, changing their predictions. Do you guys remember, like, we saw Bank of America, JP Morgan Chase, I can't remember all of them. I don't know. I think there were 4 or 5 banking institutions that all started talking about their predictions for where the metals were. And I feel like, I don't know, I feel like those 3 things
Stay a while and listen.
happened, what? They happened in this range right here. They happened in that range right there, December through February. And each of those, I appreciate it. Crawl Daddy, thanks a lot. And I'll make sure I get that package out to you this weekend when I get to the post office box. We had time to react, but we also had time for growth, right? So we were going up from, 65 to 120. So they weren't each individually calling a top, but they were definitely indicators that a top was approaching. And I think any time in the future, in 10, 15 years now from guys, when we're looking back at that 1-year chart and we're thinking to ourselves, this time is different, I want us all to collectively tell each other, no, it's not. It's all rigged. you know, the Crimex, it's all a game to these people. Right here, you know, like same thing happened in all three of these positions. Same exact story being told. Somebody was running it up, or something was running it up. COMEX tried to halt trading and to try to squeeze out people with margin changes. Mass hysteria and noise and, you know, media coverage, followed by a crash, followed by a crash, followed by a crash. Every single time. It's not going to change. Okay? We can deal with it. 69 right now. Nice, nice. But not to the bullion dealers. Oh, I'm Dr. Deeb. I'm not sure what that relates to. I'll try to find out. Sounds like the boss is back. Paul Slack, what's going on? I feel bad for all the local coin shops. Yeah, Brandon, that's what I do. I feel bad for them too. I really do. And somebody said somewhere that they think 45 is the low end. That's fine. Everybody's got their own, like, again, this isn't, I'm not saying that my analysis is the only analysis that works and it's exactly right and you should do this. Like, you can believe whatever the hell you want to believe. But my rationale for it is primarily the 200-day moving average. We extended well beyond the 200-day moving average, and it's perfectly reasonable, right, in a technical way, that we would be being drawn back to the 200-day moving average. And I do think that it's going to tag us around 55, right around this area in a few more days or weeks. And that's where we're going to be. That's my assumption. And then I think that we're going to have a bounce, and I'll be ready for that bounce. I think we're still going to have little mini 5% bounces here or there until we get there. You know, but again, I told you what I'm going to do. I'm not being bashful about it. I've got shares of SLV on the next bounce of 5%. The next time I see that chart or that dumb stock up 5 to 10%, I'm selling all of it, and then I'm instantly reversing the position into puts, and I'm going to ride this sucker all the way down in my mind to 55. If it goes all the way back up to 120 and I lose my ass on the puts, I'll be happy. I'll happily take that L on the paper and just look at my physical and be like, you did it, boy. Good job. LCS might make money if the silver hits 140 in 5 months. And refineries, yeah, they might make it back, right? Exactly, stable. So as long as they have the liquidity and the cash flow to possibly purchase in this region, and I love my charts when they get like this, then hopefully they can ride it back up here, buying and selling on the margins, you know, and make some money back. I don't want LCSs to fail. I don't think anybody does. So that's where we're at. But my focus is on gold right now. I will be buying silver, but in smaller quantities. Gold has been steady, and I transferred to gold, a lot of transfers from gold from 80 to 120 in silver, and I was transferring into gold for a while. And this stack is right here, ready to go to the LCS and pick up some more gold if it gets to the price point that I want to buy, and go out there and grab another ounce. So fiat currencies will get stronger, which will make metals cheaper. I don't know about that. I mean, what's your belief that the fiat currency is going to get stronger? Like, why do you believe that it's going to get stronger? Do you mean like the US dollar in relation to like other international currencies? Or do you mean like the strength of the dollar in terms of like cost of goods that it can purchase within the United States? Because I don't see I just don't see anything that means that the dollar is going to get stronger. If anything, I think what's going to happen is in May, Jerome Powell will be replaced with the new chairman of the Fed, and that gentleman will be very keen to reduce interest rates at a pretty rapid rate, which will, in theory, inject more borrowed money or lended money into the system, which would then essentially make inflation continue to grow and the CPI average to go up, which will be falsely reported anyway. So you won't know that it's all going up because we don't want to say that publicly as a government. But those things will happen. And then quantitative easing will be instituted to cover all of people's investments. Like, you know, when the investments fall, we like to do quantitative easing. When all these loans keep getting defaulted on and all these foreclosures keep happening and all these repos keep happening and all this stuff that's actually happening today and these bank failures and all this stuff keep happening, quantitative easing is going to be there, just like it was in the financial crisis, to support these people and to jack everything back up, to kick the inflation can down the road again So ultimately, yeah, I think ultimately long term that silver and gold is where you need to be, or land, real estate, diversified stock portfolios. I think you should be in all of it. I really do. I think you should own assets that have the potential to outpace the rate of inflation in the United States. That's where I think you should money be. Wherever it's best for you, figure it out. I don't know your life and I don't know your situation enough to tell you what to do, but that's what I'm doing and that's what I believe. I also believe that before long, we will be facing something called stable coins or central bank digital currencies that will become our standard for how we transact in the United States of America. And with that, which was signed into law by the Genius Act, I believe that they're going to transfer from a cash and coinage system to a digital system over time. And they're going to back that stable coin to the US dollar as its reserve. And essentially, at that point, all your control of your money is gone from then on out. That's my theory. That's my doomsday scenario that I'm trying to protect myself against. And to do that, again, I want to own assets. I want to own the things that will always hold value no matter what country or world or system I live in. That's got a proven backbone for thousands of years. And that's where we're at, right? That's where we're at. Let me get caught up on you guys talking about. You guys agree, disagree? Feel free to disagree, man. I'm a grown-ass man. I don't care if you say I'm wrong. You just better be ready to back it up. Give me some data, give me some information that kind of strengthens your argument. That's all I ask. They made it hard on everyone. The refiners, the wholesalers, coin shops, sellers, buyers, everyone. Yeah. No, they don't care. They don't care. We are talking about institutions that are run by people that have so much money, wealth, influence, and power. They can guide leaders of nations, entire political parties, to their whim. They can tell them in advance what they're doing so that they all make money off of it. It is a good old boys club, and you and I are not invited. The best we can do is just try to read the signals of what's going to happen and do our damnedest to adjust our lives accordingly to protect ourselves, protect your wealth, protect your money, protect your family. That's what it's about, man. It's not about like trying to get every single top and every single bottom, right? It's just trying to do the best that you can with whatever assets you have, whatever finances you have, whatever lifestyle you have, strength, mind, body, spirit, everything. That just do the best that you can. But yeah, they're gonna always, man. They're going to always be doing it for the rest of our lives. It's not going to change unless some sort of enigmatic, revolutionary, selfless leader rises up amongst the ranks, avoids being taken out by other political parties, and can garner enough popular attention and power to actually go and change the system. Nothing's going to change. We just have to accept it. I wonder if land and real estate will be so expensive, too expensive, or it's already and has more. It's not too land and real estate is not too expensive right now. It's not. Guys, it may not be affordable in San Francisco or New York or some big metropolitan fancy dancy area. But guess what? If you go look in the Midwest, or if you go look in more rural parts of almost every single state, you can find 15 acres and a 1,500 square foot house for $250,000. Like, that's not unaffordable. I'm sorry. If we're over here talking about having, $100,000, $200,000, or $500,000 in gold and silver, just buy it. And yeah, somebody else just said buy raw land. I'm talking about like livable, land with property on it, with electric and water and telephone, and you know what I mean? I'm not even talking about raw land. You go buy raw land. I mean, some states you can get that stuff for like $1,000 an acre, $5,000 an acre for, nicer stuff. Like, it is definitely affordable if you look. It for sure is. Again, you just might have to be willing to relocate to a region that's a little bit more affordable for you. But I do think everybody needs to own real estate and own land. I really do. I think that's an important part of anybody's true like homestead, true protection. Now they're going to tax you. They're going to always tax you. They're going to raise your taxes. They're going to try to limit what you can and can't do on your land. Try to find a state that, you know, hopefully will, for a while, as long as possible, will try to respect your property rights, you know. But at the end of the day, these powerful people, they don't want to go out into the middle of nowhere. They want to be around their rich friends inside the cities. Not service other than hydro. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't do it. You don't have to buy that stuff, right, Brandon? My biggest stake was putting a stop loss on my investment. It went to 120. A 10% stop loss would have been 108. Wait, you did not do one, or you did? Was not putting a stop loss. Yeah, Rodney, you know, yeah, stop losses are nice, but it's also like you think to yourself, hey, you know, it's going up so fast, like I don't need to worry about it. But then, bam, it kicks you it kicks you right in the teeth, doesn't it? A stop loss would have absolutely protected you for sure, bud. And I'm gonna do that with my my puts. I'm gonna stop loss my puts, right? So it is what it is. Who bought the dip, Kalila? I did. I think Staple did. I know a few people bought the dip. And good evening, Kalila. Thanks for being here. Mayo Monkey 68. I like that name. I have a few ounces and I bought it all that way. If I have a good month, I buy quarters. Okay. I've got are you talking about gold or silver? I've got half-ounce silver. And in fact, I'm trying to build a full tube of half-ounce silver pieces because I just think it's cool, man. I like the half-ouncer these days. Dub C Coins in the house. Thanks for hopping in and joining us, guys. We're having a great live stream. If you're just joining us, we have a lot of, obviously we have a lot of great YouTubers in the channel as well. I can't even name all of you guys. I apologize, but there's just so many people in here that have great channels. Click on their profile picture and go to their channels. But a lot of people in here. I do appreciate it. Yeah, if you're just joining us today's conversation is just about licking our wounds, accepting the fact that, you know, it's okay to feel a little bit of frustration, disappointment in the market. It's okay to feel fooled that this time was in fact not different. It was exactly the exact same as every other time, almost to the T. But at the same time, it's okay. We're gonna recover. We're still up, 50, 60% from a year ago. Things are still looking promising for the old silver and gold stackers. We've got great items that I'm sure we've all added some great items to our collection, like me and this ridiculously stupid Mark McGuire silver with gold plated coin here. That one up there, all the good stuff there. So, it is what it is, but we're licking our chops today. We're accepting as men that we had our hopes up and we knew better to chase the pretty lady for too long. And eventually she was going to turn around and slap us in the face, right? Sunshine Minting 1991 dub kind of fits your style. Half ounce gold. Yeah. There's nice. Picked up the 5-ounce cowboy round during the live stream. Yeah, I heard you do that, Kalilo, around like the 75 mark. I think you grabbed it. Not bad. Not a bad pickup. Matt Wingy back at it. Yeah, keep calm and stack on, right? It should be our maybe the live stream motto changes from stack it up to keep calm, stack on, right? That would work. I think I like that. Happy stacker, what's going on, boys and girls? Yeah, so real quick recap. We talked about like the 3 indicators that basically told us that silver was going to collapse, just like it has in all the other ones, right? Very fast, single day run-ups. That's the big one. When we start seeing 5+% one-day gains, that's a big red flag. When we start seeing the U.S., Chicago COMEX changing the margin rates multiple times, that's another huge red flag. And then the final red flag is when we start seeing these banks talking about all the different price points that they think precious metals are going to go and how they get all excited and they have all these articles. That right there would be my 3rd red flag. And at that point, you got to be, in my opinion, get out, and then ride it back down and then jump back in with vigor, right? But I think we need to learn from this. It was not different. It was the exact same as every single time. But nothing changed with the fundamentals. Absolutely nothing's changed with the fundamentals. We're still in a deficit. We still have massive industrial demand. We have massive military demand, government backing demand, central bank backing demand for these precious metals. They're expensive to mine. They're difficult to mine, right? They aren't being reproduced from, nature. We've got all these things that still hold true. So if you're a long-term stacker, I think if you're a long-term stacker, you're going to be fine. But I do think that we squeeze back down to this 200-day moving average, and we kind of bounce around this 55 level mark. And I think when we get down to 55, we finally start to see a bounce back up and start to see some stabilization, some new channels being formed that we can trade in. So if you didn't understand anything I said there, make sure you catch live streams, and I'll do everything I can to sort of like explain these things in a way that's like somewhat, I don't know, able to be followed. You know what I mean? But that's what I'm seeing. That's what I'm seeing. Let me see what's going on here. Same cost as 1 ounce, no fractional premium. Yeah, exactly, Mayo Monkey. I'm buying fractional because there is no real premium right now. Not a big premium, at least. Some stuff does, but it's not big enough to worry about. We think in today's double cat bounces at 68, then back over 100. No, Kalito, I'm not. I actually think that we're gonna close below 70 tomorrow, and if we break below 70, I think that we will fall to 55 in a short order after that. I am not bullish right now. We've kind of switched to the bear form. We have switched to bear form like a good druid. I definitely hold on to physical. Yeah. I'm not telling you to sell. And just to be clear, I'm not saying sell. I'm definitely holding on. And people laughed when I sold. I don't know, man. I think as YouTubers, right? As YouTubers, we sometimes lock into the 1 or 2 negative comments and we ignore the 95,000 positive supportive ones. It's just human nature, right, to focus on the negative. But I don't think too many people did, Dubsy. I don't know. I didn't see too many people criticizing or laughing. Maybe I wasn't paying close enough attention, but a lot of us in the community, especially the small channel mafia, right, a lot of us were talking about selling and trading the GSR and selling. So I don't know. I feel like you did perfectly good play. It just felt right, and I didn't want the FOMO. Yeah, exactly. If whatever feels right for you, everybody's different. It was a conversion from selling 52 ounces of silver. What did you get? What'd you do, Pajama? I bought at the top $2,730. I bought at the top. I bought at every top, but I also bought at every dip. So it all works out. I'll be all right. We will be here or worse tomorrow. Yeah, I think so too, Mayo Monkey. Fridays typically are a sell-off, but we've had pretty rough days of selling. So there's a chance Kalilo's right. I don't think we go to 100, but there's a chance that we bounce back and recover a little bit. What are we doing in the old charts? We're looking like we might actually pull a positive day out. I don't know. It doesn't really matter when you've gone down, 50%. Does it really matter if you have a little bit of a good day? But I don't know. This is what I'm looking at now. I just don't want us to drop below the 70 level. I don't want to see us drop below this, really. It's around 70. I would like us to bounce off of 70 and stay above 70. That would be very, very good. But if we do drop below and we start trading below the 70 level, I think our next range is going to be 55 to 65, somewhere there. That's all. That's my opinion. Have yours. Share yours. Happy for my 50 to 1 Eleanor trade. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, trading, I wouldn't even say that I traded the GSR. I just shifted what I was focused on based on the GSR. When it was up in the 120s and 100s, I was buying the heck out of silver, boys, like tens and thousands of dollars of silver. And then when it shifted, when it started getting into the 70s and 80s, I bought a little bit of both. And then when it got below 70, I started shifting pretty much all in on gold and then just buying pieces of silver here and there for different collections and stuff. That would do. Would you rather have $50 or $130? I don't really care, Dubsy. I just want some stability. I don't care where it's stable. I just want it to find a range, like a few dollar range, like maybe a 5% range. And I want it to trade there for months, not minutes. That's all I care about. I do not care ultimately what the price is. Just stabilize, calm down, get these dumbass banks focused on some other asset class to go and pump and dump, man. That's all. I just want calmness in the waters, dude. That's it. You know, we've been at sea too long. Ship's been rocking. Everybody's puking over the side, right? We've run out of water. Like, can we just calmly coast to the shore? You know what I mean? You feel me? Fact is that if everyone watching bought 10K of silver tomorrow, it wouldn't move the price. Yeah, Mayo Monkey, 100% my guy, 100%. And we talk about that on this channel all the time, is that retail market literally does not matter for the silver price, spot price. It is absolutely inconsequential to silver's price. We could all go out here, Mayo, and every single person, what do we have, like 150 people? We could all go spend $1 million at every coin shop in our local area. And guess what? We would have $0 of impact, $0 of impact on the spot price of precious metals. Now, we might liquidate some LCSs and they might start charging a little bit higher of a premium because they can't keep stuff in stock, and they might think that, oh gosh, I got such demand, I need to increase my, whatever. We might screw with the LCS, but we would have literally zero impact on the spot price. Absolutely. Great analogy. Thanks, appreciate it. You'll buy 10K at 45. Yeah, I won't buy 10K. I will say that if gold got down to $2,000, I would go buy 5 ounces of gold tomorrow if it got down to $2,000. I'm with you on gold. Silver, if it got down to 45, I'd probably buy 10, 20 ounces, something like that. Maybe I'd go pick up a kilo, the old kilo that I haven't had in a while. Maybe I'd pick up something like that. But, I have learned a lesson though. And here's one lesson I will share with you guys that I learned about silver. It's important that you have more than one type of silver. I love collecting 90% constitutional silver halves, but I have to understand that I basically cannot sell that stuff unless I sell it to a private peer-to-peer transaction. So I have to have like a pretty sizable stack of pure, 1 ounce rounds or pure 1 ounce bars or 10 ounce bars, something like that. Like I have to have that as part of my stack too. And that's the stuff that, like, if I do ever need to sell, like I know we'll have high liquidity and demand at least somewhat close to spot. But then I can have my collectible stuff, my fun stuff. That has to be separate. I can't consider that the same stuff. Let him set the floor. Who set the floor? I just told Fish you're on here complaining. What am I complaining about? Gabagool. Let me know. Let me know what I'm complaining about. TFT, my man, Dragoon, if you could determine the price of silver, what would you set it at? I would set it at $60 an ounce. I would set the price of silver at $60 an ounce, and I'd call it a day. Oh, by the way, I'm curious. What do you guys think the old U.S. Mint has done? Has the U.S. Mint adjusted their prices back down to accommodate all of us getting swashbuckled by the price? Hold on, let's see here. Shop. I want to shop American Eagle coins, and I want to see if the old U.S. Mint has done what's right by their populace and adjusted their pricing back down to the new current spot prices of 70. Oh, no, they didn't. Would you look at that? They decided to go ahead and keep their stuff at $175 an ounce. Who'd have thought? Man, wow, what a shocker. My shocking face right here. Here we go. The shocked face for you right here. There it is. Me shocked that the U.S. Mint didn't help us out here. Gold is climbing up slowly. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Keep it up. British bullion aren't adjusting to spot prices. Oh, of course not. No. We just, we raised the prices and now we're just gonna drop them, right? U.S. Mint is like my taxes. It only goes up. Yeah, except that at least with the U.S. Mint staple, when you pay them, at least you actually get something for it. You know what I mean? Right? Dr. Detroit, the Mint usually sets their new prices on Wednesday. I know it's once a week. They have a chart on how they price based on spot. Yeah, you know what they could do is like they could just literally have their website update the pricing based on spot, and then just add their premium for their collector's pieces for each coin, and they would never have to have a human being ever do anything again. Not that hard. They're just intentionally, they do it intentionally. I regret not getting any 100 ounces. I don't really have any regrets, man. I'll be honest with you. I feel like I did things. I feel like I did things the way I would have done them if I did it again. The big difference I will do next time is when I see this kind of a move up, and I'm going to see it, and I see all the 3 indicators that we talked about. When I see intraday moves of 5 to 10%, when I see the COMEX changing the margin rates, I will then start to deleverage. I will start to sell percentages of my position every X number of dollars up or percentages up. So let's say every 10% growth, I sell 10% of my stack. And then I'll have no regrets, man. If it doubles and I sell 100% of my stack, I'll still have no regrets. Because you know what? I will know with certainty that that time is not different and that crap's going to come crashing back down. And all I got to do is close my eyes and wait. And you know what I'll do? I'll put that fiat, if I'm worried about it getting bit by inflation bug, I will put it into stocks or something else. I'll put it into a blue chip, high dividend yielding stock and just sit there and watch it make 4%, annually if I have to. And then I will buy it back whenever I see them dip. But that's where we're at. It is not different this time. What is PJ saying about the old 100-ounce contracts? The new 100-ounce futures contract starts trading Monday the 9th, thinking a solid amount of retail traders will switch over. I do think so, Pajama. I do think so. I think a lot of them will try to run that sucker up. Can we all just come together and hop on some subreddit? Let's go on the Wall Street Bets subreddit and let's try to encourage every single one in there to just buy 100-ounce contracts on the COMEX and just run this sucker up like 25, 30%, and then we can all just exit. Why can't we just do that? I mean, would that be considered like collusion or something? Like, is that illegal? I mean, I don't know. It feels like that's what everybody else does to this crap that has trillions. I don't know. We'll see. British bullions aren't. Oh, wait. I already read that one. I'm trying to scroll back down. Oh, it scrolled all the way back down. Leave my pet rock out of this. Nice. Yeah, there's always that one guy, right? The like antagonizing troll who tries to make brother KLD welcome or KL6 welcome. Like, you're not gonna get a rise out of me, big dog, man. I've gone through too much real shit in my life to not have to worry about the amount of my silver's valuation or my gold's valuation. So, I appreciate you being here. I hope you enjoyed the channel. I hope you enjoyed talking about precious metals, but I'm glad you sold. I mean, I've sold some too. It's like a meaningless statement, right? It's a meaningless statement. It's unverifiable, and it doesn't say what you sold at. It doesn't say what you bought at. Welcome to the channel, brother. Kick your feet up, grab a beer. You're gonna need one. It's gonna be a long night, How could the Warsh selection make so much difference? He doesn't take office until the end of May. It doesn't matter. I don't think his selection is making a difference. You're fine. You're fine. I mean, it's not a worthless rock. I would think. I disagree with you. What a useless white rock. I mean, I think it's just objectionably false, right? It's not even arguable. It's got more uses than you or I, right? You know what I mean? Anyway, I'd go to jail for $1 billion. We need more people. I'd go to jail for $1 billion. Yeah, how long? So that's actually not too bad of an idea, Brandon. You make your $1 billion, you pay your $150 million fine. You spend a couple years in jail and you come out with $850 million. That's not bad. Not bad. I don't think the worst selection had anything to do with it. Paul Slack, just to go back to what you're saying. At all. It's all just bullshit, boys. You know what could have been? How come nobody's thought about this? What about this? What if this was actually just Jamie Dimon throwing up a giant middle finger to to Donald Trump because Donald Trump is suing him for debanking him? Has anybody thought about that? What if this is literally kings on the chessboard punting pawns off to get at each other? Has anybody thought about the possibility of that? That this is just a giant middle finger for two powerful giants to show each other how powerful they are and how they can basically flip a financial system up on its head without any second thought? I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud, you know, like I'm not saying anything true or false. It's just, if we're going to just throw out theories, like let's throw out some theories, you know, let's get in it. Let's get real. Why are we playing around? Anyway, well, it's metal. It's not rock. I mean, it's kind of, it's an ore, right? It's fine. I'm a stacker, not a trader. I'm praying for silver to go to 40 so I can buy a monster box. Yeah, Dr. Detroit, that's nice. That's nice. Yeah, I'm both. I'm unashamedly both. Like, I like stacking it. I like holding it. I like collecting it, gold and silver. But I also have no problems at all trading on these paper markets and trying to get an advantage of it. Why not? Like, if that's what they're going to do to me, why can't I take advantage of it too? White rocks or something different. Yeah, white rocks are something you crush up and you put into lines. My $67 average ain't looking so hot. Everyday Satan, everyday Satan, you're gonna be fine. You're gonna be fine. Hang in there, big dog. Hang in there. And when it goes to 50, if you buy the same equivalent amount, you will now have dollar cost average to about $60, and you'll be fine. You know, $58. Who cares? It's a defunct bank getting back at JPM. Could be. The last time we were here was Christmas. Yeah, exactly. My paper passed. The last time we were here was like 33 days ago. This is insane. What do we do? It was actually further than Christmas, though. I will say. Was it really Christmas? Hold on. No, it wasn't Christmas. That is false. That is false. That is false. Where are we at? Oh my gosh. It was Christmas. You're right. The last time we were here was on Christmas. That's nuts, isn't it? A whopping month ago. I tucked my gold nuggets in. Yeah, it's not just a rock. It has feelings. It's like, touch the rock where it hurts you. Right? Exactly. What's up, Red Cloud? The real life dragon. Yeah. I wish. Maybe one day. I'm not there yet. I got a lot more. If silver gets down to the $30 range, we got a much higher probability of becoming the actual real silver dragon for sure. I'm really down on the ETF, so not willing to sell, trying to hold on to that. Yeah, I'm trading the SLV ETF, so we'll see what it does. I guess I could look at it, but yeah, you know what? Okay, all right, not financial advice. Hold on, disclaimer time. Kalilo came and went already, buddy. Servants. PMs for sale. PMs for sale. PMs. No, Kalilo was already here. I think he came in, hopped in, and left. He was talking about buying the dip and stuff. I think Kalilo left after I said that I'm not bullish. I buried my silver in the backyard so I can hang out with the other rocks. Yeah, exactly. It blends right in. The unrefined silver ore just laying around the, you know, like it's like in your flower bed. It'd be pretty sweet. Do it. Yeah. Let's see here. I bought pounds of silver in 23 for 430. I just bought pounds again at 88. I'm absolutely calm. It's a good investment. Just my personal thing. Yeah. Yeah. And so here's what I threw the disclaimer up for. Okay. I'll give you guys a little secret, man. You can do 24-hour trading on like Robinhood, and you can trade the SLV. And boys, I put limit buy options for like 10% under the current price. And there's always some dumbass idiot who sells to me in the middle of the night for way under market. I'm just saying I'm 3 for 3 days in a row. I'm just saying, not financial advice at all. I'm just saying, if you're gonna buy after hours, like way after hours, make sure your limit price is way, way, way under the current market price, and just wait patiently for some dummy to sell it to you. That's all I'm saying. It's a good strategy. A lot of people are now trying to figure out the DCA average nervous time. You know, the easiest way to not have to worry about your dollar cost average is to stop paying attention to what you're buying stuff at. And then you just, you just buy it. You just buy it, and you just buy it, and you just buy it, and you don't sell it. And then you do, you can't triple stamp a double stamp. There you go. You just buy it. You can't triple stamp a double stamp. I heard it's called the Devil's Medal or the Widowmaker. I don't know. That's not me calling it that. I don't call it that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I had a heck of a good time. I hope you did too. I'm going to go ahead and end the poll here. See what you guys said. What were the indicators of silver going down? JP Morgan being involved. I like it. I like it. Anyway, I hope you guys had a good time joining with me, chatting it up. I appreciate each and every one of you coming here. Thank you for all the subscriptions and the support and the love. A lot of great people that have silver YouTube channels out there in the comments. So most of the people chatting have a silver channel. Go hang out with them, talk to them. I just got my second SSD and sound card installed. So I got my SSD. Yeah, SSD prices popping off. But yeah, Red Cloud, thanks for being here, buddy. Appreciate you. All you channel members that are in the channel, thank you guys for your support. Love you. God bless you guys. Get out there and have a fantastic evening and weekend. It's gonna be okay. Is it a gut punch? Yes, it's a gut punch. But we're gonna put on the boots and we're gonna get back to work tomorrow. Hallelujah, boys. We got an opportunity ahead of us to pick up some more silver and gold for a good price. I'll see you guys later. Have a great day. Peace out. Bye-bye.